Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm at the Walmart parking lot, and I'm really happy to be here. I made it out alive, actually. Wasn't so sure even at some point. I guess I knew this trip was going to be a lot of things. I tend to trust people, I tend to like people, and then I kind of don't want to get to know people that have all kinds of issues. And that was where I was just captured and staying at a place called The Wave in Ventura with this big Santa Claus guy named Jeff. He actually plays Santa Claus once a year. He's an artist the rest of the year. Anyway, scary guy. Lovable and frightening. Kind of like a polar bear. He's half a polar bear, half Santa Claus. Anyway, I knew that I'd have to encounter the polar bear at some point, and unfortunately, I did tonight. And but that was after a lot of small, I shouldn't say small, kind of devastating mishaps that no doubt were my fault, such as setting up in broad daylight in front of the most obvious coffee house in Ventura, and finally meeting the police of Ventura and getting into a discussion, I guess you could call it, about the difference between a guy like me and my van and just a street vendor, you know. It wasn't worth the discussion, and he was happy to hand me a $195 ticket for a registration that wasn't current, that I loused up back in Stroudsburg, getting my van ready for this whole trip. Anyway, they kind of, made me think that I wasn't particularly welcome in Ventura after all the good things that had happened initially. Anyway, long story short, a few things start to go wrong, like meeting the cops, realizing that I'm not going to be able to have my way with the town and what I'm trying to do, and kind of being stuck with this guy Jeff. I mean, he was nice enough to keep me and feed me and let me shower in his place, and I sort of escaped with my life today, I think. I also, not only did I get kicked out by the cops, but then like this next day, I managed to lose my wallet, which was really devastating. Not even just for the cash, but just now I have no license and I'm on a road trip. Now I don't have any way to ID myself. I don't have a credit card, and I don't have a debit card. So all I have is whatever I have, and I made a wallet out of duct tape. You saw that in the movie. And anyway, I had about $7 in my wallet, and I felt like I was captured and about to be eaten by the polar bear. He was starting to get angry with me because I was not as pleasant a visitor as I was when everything was going well, and then when things started not going well, our relationship started to not go well. And anyway, I realized that I was going to be stuck there for the next 2 or 3 days until my wonderful wife bails me out again for a change and sends me some cash and some ID, and I was going to have to wait until Tuesday for all that, and then tonight it's Saturday night. Anyway, the story is almost kind of cool in the end. I take everything out of Jeff's place that I have, and I kind of fling it in the van arbitrarily, which is a disaster, basically. And just to get out, I had to get away, and it did seem vaguely life or death. And then I didn't know where I was going to go, which was also very traumatizing. And I started thinking about, can I go back to Peter Cohen's, go see if this woman that I kind of worked with a little bit with the kids would take me in. She doesn't really know me, and I think I would have scared her if I showed up on Saturday night and said I have no place to go. And anyway, so I parked out in front of a bar, the bar that I first parked in front of in Ventura, and I set the van up. I put the kaleidoscope out, and people, of course, started to come out of the bar and look through the kaleidoscope, and everyone's kind of drunk, which, I don't mind that. It's a different atmosphere for an art show. But my van is kind of a cool way to engage people when they least expect it with my creativity. No one understands why I'm bothering to do it this way, and even I kind of don't, except that I'm trying to recontextualize the experience of sharing art, and right direct, real direct with people who never go to museums and never look at anything, and wow them with vision and creativity. Sorry, honey, but that's what I'm about. So anyway, the good news is I lower the prices a little bit because I have to make enough money. I have no gas in the car hardly, and I'm going to attempt to get out of Ventura. And I'm not sure where I'm going. The Walmart parking lot, definitely. But I managed to sell 2 pieces of art. One to some guy who I didn't know at a bargain price for a $20 bill. And then, out of the darkness, sometimes the karmic things that go on this trip are just beyond my comprehension. Out of the darkness steps a very nice couple. He's an acupuncturist that I met on my very successful nice day in Ventura when I was deeply in love with the town and thought that they were going to embrace me and, want me to move there. And, God knows, I was really ready to swallow the whole idea. Anyway, they emerge. This same couple emerges out of the darkness. And they want another piece of mine. They bought one last time, and a repeat customer in front of a bar on a Saturday night. A nice couple, actually, that I really enjoyed talking to. They show up, and they buy another piece for $30. So now I have $50. Now I have a way to get out of Ventura, and I put $30 worth of gas in the car, which makes you sick for all the effort. And Annalie K doesn't know that I'm going to call her tomorrow, but I'm hoping that she'll also just hang with me for a couple of days until the money and the IDs and all that stuff gets sent from Pennsylvania. And then we'll start phase 2 of this road trip in LA and see what happens there. At least LA is a little bit closer to the real home base on the West Coast, which is my daughter's house, and I just hope that I don't make a fool of myself further. I hope that I don't impinge on anybody's life and lifestyle with this idiotic or ingenious, whatever you want to think of it as, idea that I have in my head, and that I'm actually living. And it's all about being a guy with experience doing something ridiculous. And I think I need that. I do. I think I need to have some wounds and scars of the trip and experiences, thinking on your feet, surviving along with sleeping in the van. I've now figured out a way to quickly make $50 in a pinch, perhaps. I'm not going to say that's going to happen every time, but somehow it saved my life tonight, and I'm grateful. And I'm just happy that the polar bear he had me captured, there was no doubt, psychologically and emotionally, and he was playing chess with my brain, and I tried to stay calm with him because he told me very frankly that if he got really angry, that you don't want to know about it. And I kind of could see it, and I agreed. The guy must weigh about 350 pounds, even though the other day he was saying that he weighed 180 pounds. And I said, I weigh 160 pounds. You don't weigh 180 pounds. Anyway, that's the end of that story. And hopefully we're going to pick this thing up once I hit Silver Lake, which is where Annalee is. And that's it. So I'm going to say goodnight from the van sleeping area. I'm back in here with my art. And I'm just really happy that I'm not captured. It's a really scary feeling. I mean, the place where this polar bear Santa Claus guy lives is called the Wave, and for a while there I was believing that, I was part of some kind of wave in connection with Uranus and just the changes that seem like they're happening Earth-wise, and the place just got creepier and creepier. It's right next to the highway, and it's noisy, and it's dirty, and oh, by the way, Jeff was just coughing constantly. This big man, this big scary man, wouldn't stop coughing and wouldn't admit that that was an issue. I didn't even bring that part up, but I couldn't take it anymore. And for 2 or 3 more days of it, I had to bolt, as they say, and I did. And he's not going to be happy that I'm maybe never going to see him again. But, there goes my trust. Trusting people to be nice. You don't know what people are, and you don't know what's inside of them. And I think that's where conservative, Republican people are suspicious first, and then you have to prove that you're worthy. And there is something to that type of logic, and I learned it the hard way tonight. You just don't crash in the home of somebody you don't really know. And I'm probably never going to do it again. So there goes my trust.